Mi365 Podcasts with me, Pete Cohen. Hi, it's Pete Cohen here. You join me for another Mi365 podcast, and I'm absolutely delighted to have my guest with me today, Marcia. Hi, Marcia. How are you?
Hi, hello, everyone. Thanks, Pete, for having me here. It's a pleasure.
It's such a pleasure to be with you. Now, congratulations. We've decided that we would love you to be our member of the month.
Wow.
For March.
Wow, what an honor.
Well, for me, it's a no-brainer because you're someone who's really embraced what Mi365 is all about. So just tell us briefly, how did you actually come across Mi365 in the first place?
Yes, so it's a funny story. It was through Periscope, of course, when you started last year, in the beginning of the year. Actually, I heard one of your live transmissions, or I went to your site, and then I heard you were doing those sessions every day at 7 a.m. through a friend of mine, Annie Hood. She was here in Madeira for a few months, working with me and doing some things about some projects about wellness tourism. And then she invited me through Periscope to one of your live broadcasts in the morning. So it was happening there, and from that, every day I tuned in at 7 a.m. and it was a big change in my life for the better. So.
Well, it's amazing. So what did you think right in the beginning? Because I'm always really curious when people watch. A lot of people say, they were a little bit skeptical. What's this guy doing? But over time they start to realize, okay, he's okay. He's actually genuine. He's trying to help. Yeah. What was it for you?
I felt it genuinely. You were coming from a true place, from your heart. You were trying to help people. I felt that because not many people do what you do, broadcasting every day 7 a.m. in the morning. So live, free.
Yeah.
It was a big difference from what I've seen before with other coaches.
Yeah.
And so that was really inspiring. And I said, wow, this guy from England is doing this broadcast. He's getting up early and doing this free for so many people around the world, and that was very inspiring. And I never doubted a minute of your intentions. Was really truthful.
Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about what you've achieved since you've been tuning in.
My God, I've been showing you my notes. This is the second notebook. I have
this is pretty impressive, actually. So
yes, so I have all the notes and all.
That's good to see.
All the graphics,
the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, 7 and everything. So it changed a lot my morning habits, for example, because even I have some discipline as a yoga teacher, but maybe and sometimes in the morning I would just meditate, or I would just do pranayama, just some breathing techniques, and then you started talking about the miracle morning and all the 5 fundies or the 7 fundies, and I started to write them down everywhere in my house. Some of the pictures that other members post on Facebook group, they also inspired me to do these small cardboards and put it around the house to make me remember of some things during the day, or when I'm cooking, or when I'm just washing my teeth in the bathroom or whatever. And that really changed the way I work my routine, my rituals. I always start the day at 6 o'clock, 1 hour before you broadcast. So at 7, I'm ready, and I did all my personal rituals before I listen to you.
Wow. So, I mean, one of the reasons why we wanted to make you member of the month was you've decided to expand what it is that you offer as someone. I'd love to talk to you about yoga, and we will, because I think yoga is something that so many people can benefit from. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But you decided to become a life coach yourself.
Yes, in October, there are no coincidences, and I really believe that because that happens to me almost every day. You know, Pete, I've been telling you some of those. And in October 2016, there was a really good Portuguese coach coming to Madeira to teach, to give a life coaching course. And I said, this is my opportunity, because it's not usual for them in person to come to Madeira to do those courses. And I said, this is a sign, I have to do it now. And I paid the amount, and I said, this is what I have to do. Actually, Annie Hood also inspired me to do that, because she was always saying, you should do a coaching course, you should do a coaching course, as well as continue with your yoga work. That would marry well together. And that's what I've been doing for the last year, trying in my yoga classes. I teach every day. In my yoga classes, with group classes and private classes I have, to bring some of the things I learned from you to the yoga class also, and incorporate that with the yoga principles also.
So it's pretty cool, right? Because I suppose a lot of people label themselves like, I am a yoga teacher, I am an accountant, I am. And you've decided to offer more to people. So where is what would you say, because one of the key things we ask people is, you know, what is your purpose in your life? What do you feel your purpose is?
Yes, I have a better notion of that now, because I found myself, what do I do every day? I help people all around me. I help people in yoga classes, in my friends, my colleagues at work. They inspire me, and you inspire me to mentor them also, to support each other. And I said, yes, that's my mission, to be around people and help them and help myself, because when we help others, we help ourselves.
Wow, so you feel that you've always wanted to help people, but now you feel you're more equipped at helping people.
Oh, for sure. I have more tools, much more than yoga only, because yoga is very philosophical. And coaching provided me with more practical day-to-day, techniques and habits that I could inspire people to put in action. And also yoga is action, but sometimes people get too much, spiritual, and then they don't get down to earth. And I think coaching is a very good complement to put things in action in every day.
And people are often much more receptive after they've done some movement, or even when they're doing some movement. They're kind of opening up, to ideas. The serotonin, all those happy hormones are going through their body. So, what a great idea to become, a yoga coach, a yoga life coach.
Yes, that's the term I usually think in my head. Yoga life coach. Does that exist?
Yeah. Well, it does now.
Well,
and I'm sure other people will follow suit. So tell me, how did you actually get into yoga in the first place?
Oh, yes. 10 years ago, I was very much interested in improving my well-being, and I felt this. I had a great job. I did my biology degree in university. A few months later, I had a dream job in a big company here in Madeira. I had everything. But I still felt something was missing. I still felt some void inside, something. And then I started looking for Reiki and yoga. Reiki and yoga. And then I went to a lecture from a yogic monk here in Madeira again. So what I'm feeling in my life, if I look back, I always have people coming here. I'm very lucky and fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that happened. I went to this lecture about vegetarianism with this yogic monk, and then he inspired me to start a yoga course. He invited me to do that, and then I started some lessons, and then I did an advanced course with this yoga monk, and then he said, "You start to teach." And then I never thought about being a yoga teacher. Never, ever. It wasn't in my plans. I never thought about that. So it came to me, and I said, okay, that's what I usually do. When things come to me and I said, okay, I accept it. Because I think it makes sense, and I feel inspired and
So how
passionate.
do you create that space in order for things to come to you? Because that is a different way of moving through the world, I think, for a lot of people who just want... They kind of go and make things happen and maybe try too hard or not try at all and think nothing ever good is going to happen.
Yes, you have to just be open to opportunities and be aware of what is really happening to you at the moment. Because if I was too, strongly attached to my job,
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to take this opportunity to teach yoga.
So the key is to be open to opportunities.
Open and aware to the moment, to the present moment, and what is happening to me now. What do I really have? And if you have some things good, we always have good things happening. We just have to be aware.
Yeah.
And so take advantage of that and just say yes.
So for me with yoga, I was a personal trainer. I came across yoga probably in the 95, 96. I did my first class, and I must admit, I really got into it. It was challenging because it was different, but I remember having a different type of sensation, that euphoric feeling that you get after exercise.
Oh, yeah.
The feeling from yoga was just different. But I did it for a while, and then I got out of the habit of doing it because it forced me to slow down, and I didn't really want to slow down. And it was only, again, recently that my back was getting so tight from exercising in a way that was, where things were getting tight, that I then thought, oh God, I better just start doing some yoga again. Now I do it, I do it 6 days a week, sometimes most 7. What is it about yoga that is so good for people, you think?
It works on everything about you. Yoga looks at the human being as a whole, not just the physical or the mental.
Not just the chest or biceps.
Yes, or the bicep or your belly or whatever. Yeah. It looks at you as an integral being. And also the spiritual part is very important, because sometimes we have, the body is okay, we are healthy, but we have this spiritual longing. Everybody
What does
has
that mean, this spiritual longing? Do you mean to feel connected to something outside of yourself? To feel connection,
yes, to feel that connection. We, as a human being, we all need that connection.
Yeah.
Energetically, we feel that we need, and it's a part of us to connect to other people, but also to connect to something bigger, or this energy, the universe or God, whatever word you want to put it, because
I'm a part of something.
Yes, I'm a part of something bigger than myself. Yes, and feel that everybody is the same. Yeah. We're not different from each other, really.
Yeah.
That's
it's a paradigm shift, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people do think they're different from everybody else, and a lot of people think they're not connected to anything, and then that's maybe where a lot of misery and sadness maybe comes from.
When we feel separated from others or whatever is going on, that's when we get that feeling of, something is wrong.
So yoga for many people is about connecting yourself to yourself.
And when you connect to yourself, you feel connected to everything.
So why does everyone in yoga always talk about breath and prana? Can you tell me what that is?
Prana is vital energy. And, our physiological and biological systems have a huge impact in our mind, and the other way around. So it's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
So if we tap into the breath, we're tapping into it's a direct link to our mind and to our spirit.
Yeah.
That's, if you breathe too rapidly, you get a mental energy or mental state.
Yeah.
If you breathe slowly and mindfully, you get another mental state, and you
Yeah.
produce more. You are more, compassionate. You have lots of different emotions and different feelings inside, and that is directly connected to the breath. Sometimes all the times when I start teaching, I just let people arrive to the mat and then breathe and then feel that connection and putting that direct link to their nervous system, and is through the breath. Just controlling the breath, you control your mental energy
And what
state.
sort of, I mean, that's obviously a silly question because you've just kind of answered some of it, but what are some of the benefits people can get from doing yoga?
Oh my God, so many. Physical, lowering blood pressure, or if you have, stabilizing. I think it's
Yeah.
balancing blood pressure. You get stronger physically. You get mentally more disciplined, more resilient with the challenges of life that everybody has. You don't feel alone, because you feel that you are connected to a group of people that think and feel life the same way as you do.
Yeah.
And that's very important to have and feel that connection. I'm not alone. I'm not separated from
Yeah.
other people. This is union. Yoga is union.
I love doing yoga and just seeing how much I can stretch. When I bend up and lift up to the sky, I always think, I'm going to touch the ceiling. I'm going to touch the ceiling. And someone can say, no, you're not. I said, well, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep practicing until I can get there. But there's nothing better than feeling your body open, as opposed to obviously how most people spend so much of their time now, where everything is like this, and yoga really gives you the opportunity for everything to open.
Expanding, and not only physically. You feel your energy. You feel that your body doesn't end where your skin ends.
Yeah.
That's another thing we learn and feel. Sometimes even after yoga class, you look at things and maybe you feel taller or feel more expansive, and that's energy. That's not only physical. And
I think one of the things I love is because I was always into fitness and personal training. When I was not very well in my 20s, I was looking for things. So I tried Tai Chi, I tried Qigongs, and I loved all of these things, yoga. But they're all really different because they're similar because they've been around for so long. Mm-hmm. But it seemed more about energy than actually anything else. Like filling yourself up with energy rather than how you necessarily look.
Yes, and yoga is more. Tai Chi and Qigong are really. Tai Chi is a martial art, of course, but Qigong is more energetic work. Yeah. Actually, yoga is, for me, I also like Qigong, of course. But for me, it involves or gets also more to your body.
Yeah.
And I feel that sometimes we really need to go to the physical part to unlock some pockets of energy and pockets of emotion that are in our muscles and our tendons and everything. And we have to get that stretched out and then we get that expansion of energy of prana.
I think it's pretty obvious, right? We need to be flexible in mind and body. We need to be strong in mind and body. And sometimes if you want a strong mind, okay, we'll start off with your body, start off with a discipline, start off with something that challenges you. But it takes time often to get momentum. And this is one of the things we were talking about last week, about how motivation doesn't really work because our body's trying to protect us. And if you're trying to get the body to move in ways it doesn't normally do, but you just got to do that little bit, stretch yourself, work with a teacher.
Yes, little by little, small things. We don't have to start with a full yoga class or a very advanced yoga class. That's why we have yoga for beginners. Yeah, just try it out.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be for hours.
Yes.
I've done classes which are hours, but I mean, I like to just do something that's 20, 30 minutes for me every day.
15 minutes. We could do 15 minutes in the morning yoga.
Yeah. So everyone that's listening, if you haven't tried yoga, really try it out. And all Mi365ers, you'll be finding more out about Mi365 and yoga, because it's something that we're definitely going to be doing some stuff with a little bit down the road, I'm sure. But let's just go back to, we start to wrap this up. I want to go back to why we wanted to make you Member of the Month. And that was because you've decided to follow your bliss. You've said a couple of things which I think are really powerful, and I appreciate what you said about just being open, and opportunities come when you're open as opposed to closed, which is another reason why you should do yoga, because you're opening your body up. But the other thing is about, we have lots of people who follow Mi365 who maybe are doing something they don't necessarily enjoy, a job, and maybe they're frightened to look at different avenues to follow their bliss. Where, you know, I always say to people, if you could do anything, something you would even pay for the privilege of doing that as a job, what would you do? Now, for me, I would do what I do. I would pay to do what I do. I enjoy it that much.
Me too.
Yeah.
We are the same in that, because I wouldn't imagine myself doing anything else.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, wow, I'm in my dharma, which is
dharma is in your bliss, right?
It's your mission in life, dharma. In yoga.
So what would you say to people, because I think a fear often comes up for people who think about, I don't really enjoy my job, so what could I do? I say to people, look, either find a way to enjoy what you do, or just do it and make sure you get loads of joy outside of what you do, or look to ask yourself the question, where is my dharma? Where is my mission?
Everything you said is okay, is in fact very powerful, because sometimes we have a job, we're in that thing we're doing, and we just have to look at it in a different way. Why am I there at this moment in life? What am I learning from that job specifically? What do I need to change in myself to look at the job with a more positive mindset? And if you cannot find that, maybe you need to change, of course, but do it step by step. Try to, before you change what you're doing, just try to see what you're doing there. Yeah. Because we always find something there. We are always learning something. Before I went to dedicate myself to yoga, of course, I didn't leave my well-paid job in that year, 10 years ago. I left in 2011 only. Wow,
so you worked up to it.
I worked up to it. Yeah. Yes.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? Often if you want something in life, you're going to have to pay for it in some way, not just money, but just...
You have to prepare also. I did from 2004, 2005, up to 2011, I was just working on this. I was preparing myself, and I was learning from the job I had at that time. I went to also a change in my job, job in that big company here in Madeira, and I changed my function inside the company. I went to the marketing area, and I learned a lot. And then I started to realize, and again, I said, okay, let's do this. I accept what is coming. Yeah. Let's do this. And I learned a lot about marketing. And then I decided to leave the company and just dedicate myself 100% to yoga. And then I realized how much I learned all those years doing some things I didn't really enjoy, but I still learned a lot. Yeah. And I realized why I was there for 3 years or 4 or 5, just learning.
I think the most overwhelming thing about you is that you're definitely open to the universe and open to opportunities, that opportunities will come your way. And I think that's a shift. You know, we spoke a couple of weeks ago on Mi365 about what is the state that you're coming from. If you're coming from the state of overwhelm or stress or worry or anxiety, even though those things can come into our life, they always do. But if you're coming from the space of, I'm open to opportunities, I'm open to greatness, then it comes to you, right?
It comes, and I'm a living example of that, because I always, when I stop and I just look at what is happening to me, everything is coming. Yeah. Everything is coming, and I say, yes, let's do this, let's go this way, I'm open to that.
I think part of your mission statement should definitely be let's do this. Because you say that quite a lot.
I'm also an action person.
Yeah.
I'm very spiritual, but my feet are on the ground, as we usually say. I don't know if you have that expression.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's where we live. We don't live up there.
Yes,
it's great to be
we
connected
live here.
but this is planet Earth.
Yes, action.
I am definitely inspired by you, and I know many of our members are. I know that you're quiet on the Facebook side of things, but that's because you're so busy doing what you're doing, and it's not like everyone should be looking at Facebook every minute of every day. I just love the way you're a woman of action, and you're a shining example to lots of people. So
sometimes I feel like, should I post things on Facebook, or should I go out there and do things?
Go outside and do things.
I go out there and do things.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate spending this time with you. It's been really inspiring. Congratulations for being our Member of the Month for March. And I've got a feeling that many of our My365 members will get to know you in more moving forwards.
Sure. Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you good much on YouTube as well. Let's stop this right here. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And if you want more free inspiration to optimize your life so you can achieve your goals in all the different areas of your life, then visit mi365.me. That's mi365.me and sign up to 365 days of free coaching with me, Pete Cohen. Thanks for listening and have an awesome day.